Welcome to the WineZone. I'm Konrad Ejbich and this is Pro and Con. Today, my guest is Christie Mavety. Christie grew up in the Okanagan Valley, in the South Okanagan Valley, at Blue Mountain Vineyards. For the longest time, Blue Mountain Vineyards sold all its fruit to other wineries. In 1971, Christie's parents, Jane and Ian Mavety, started a winery and they've never looked back since. 1971, they bought the property. 1991, they started the winery.
That's correct.
1991, they started the winery. A friend of ours, Allison Salkelblosser, I don't know if you met her.
I haven't.
Salkelblosser in Oregon. She grew up on a winery too, and was telling me that when she was a kid, she used to go in the wintertime tobogganing down between the rows. Tell me what it was like for you growing up as a child in a winery. Tell me a story about it.
Right.
How that it's like.
There's from, I would say when I was quite young, it was just the vineyard. And most of my memories are really about the vineyard versus the winery, because that was later on. What I really remember is walking through the vineyards with the dogs, and whether it was the summer or the winter, it was always pretty spectacular because it was so quiet and peaceful. I worked in the vineyard as well, so I was able to experience from May through October the growing of the vines, the berries maturing, and moving from there. It was pretty spectacular. I mean, you can see from the image that it's a beautiful spot, and I feel very fortunate growing up in that part.
All of the Okanagan is gorgeous, and I think your area is one of the most gorgeous in the extreme South Okanagan. But again, so the vineyard was really a work area for you. When you went there to play, was it to escape or was it a play area of choice?
I would say more escape.
Yeah.
Just because it was so quiet and peaceful, and it wasn't. During the week when there was tractors in the vineyard, sure, it wasn't.
You could stay out
quite
and
so
keep
quiet.
out of the way.
But a great play area, and then honestly, the whole area around us, the mountains are so close, so that was also another part of the playground as well.
Well, everything's close except people.
Right.
Because you're on farm, so on large winery vineyard tracts. I mean, you have what, 80 acres or 108 hectares?
80 acres.
80 acres. So the next people over are a good walk away. Did you have lots of friends to play with? Were they all wine people?
No, there wasn't many vineyards around us when I grew up, so I didn't have a lot of friends that were from wine families. But mostly, there was another family that was quite close in proximity to us, and that was actually the Brock's family. And they, Alan Brock and my dad purchased the property back in '71 together.
I see.
And they started farming the site, and then Alan decided that wasn't what he wanted to do. But that was the closest family. Otherwise, it was a car ride to get to another home, another family. So it was quite, in a sense, isolating in that respect.
Yeah, you learn to play in your head.
Yes.
As opposed to outside with other people. You sort of make friends in your head and play.
And it's important that I have a brother.
That helps.
Yeah.
He's younger, isn't he? Or
He's
is he
a
old?
year older.
He's a year older, so that's good. He could look after you and take care of you in various ways. Now, a few years ago, or from the time that the vineyard became a winery, I think your biggest brand was your stripe label Pinot Gris.
Yes, our stripe label, which we're moving into getting rid of the stripes and calling it just specifically Reserve. But
checks and balls.
Yes, exactly.
Reserve, okay.
Yes, it's definitely what's most sought after, whether it's our Pinot Gris or our Pinot Noir.
Is that still the same today? Because
Yes.
Today we're tasting a bubbly,
Yes.
and you have a reputation for making fantastic bubblies.
Well, I think...
So what's taken over?
Yeah, to begin with, I would say we became extremely well known for our Pinot Noir. Sparkling wine in the very beginning was a difficult sell.
Difficult sell, a different
yes.
make and a difficult sell.
Well, yeah, it was, a lot of people wanted sparkling wine specifically for celebratory occasions, and I think today, in the last, I would even say 10 years, that has really changed. 5 to 10 years, where people are more interested in having sparkling wine to start a meal with their meal. So now, sparkling wine and Pinot Noir is what we are best known for.
Excellent, excellent. I want to start a program where everybody has a bottle of sparkling wine on Friday after work.
Oh, I want to be part of that program.
Isn't that great? We're
Yes.
going to start that?
Yes.
I bet you do. You sell a few. Now, your brother, Matt, is a graduate of winemaking from New Zealand and other agricultural programs in British Columbia. You have a degree in art history.
Yes.
So that's very complementary, right? Because one's going to look after the vineyards, one's going to look after the vineyards and winemaking, the other will look after the marketing. So you're no longer a little girl doing what daddy says. You're now part of the company. Have you got ideas about changing the labels, changing the design, changing the image of Blue Mountain? And if so, where's it going?
We have been in the process of doing so, and this is probably the best example. This was the first label. Change. So we have started with our sparkling wines, and we've updated the label, and we wanted to make it more cohesive with the other packaging. And so with our 2012 vintage of our table wines, that's the new label for us as well. So,
but this is still an older label.
That's new, actually.
This is new. Okay, yes. This is the new label for the Brut, Blue Mountain Brut, and this is going to be available in vintages.
That's correct.
This coming Christmas, Christmas 2012. 13.
Yes.
We're in 2013, right?
We are.
Okay, and I haven't even been drinking yet.
So what the idea behind that? I would say in the last few years, there's been a real transition with the second generation of Mavety's taking over the active operators of the business, and something that I really wanted to see the labels to just clean them up a little bit, refresh them, rejuvenate the brand a little as well.
Modernize them.
Yes. And then to make a clear line between our table wine and sparkling. Our sparkling label, we've added the image of the view on the neck label, which you'll find that exact image on all of our table wine labels.
This is the view that you get to see. Okay.
Yes.
On the label.
And actually, the back of that card, you'll see the table wine.
Oh, beautiful.
So those are the new labels.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So it's kind of putting a little bit of a stamp on the change in the generation as well. That's a big deal. So that, for me, I have a design background, and it was important to put our best foot forward.
Is it difficult for you to do that? I mean, you're changing what your parents did. It's like, is there just pressure? Like, oh, I sure want them to be happy with what we do.
I feel what we're doing helps the brand. I believe that they've been a part of the process, because I still think it's important for them to be a part of it. I also feel that, or I felt it was not, I didn't want to depart from the brand in look and feel, but to enhance it. Sure. And all four of us were involved with the final decision moving forward with the labels, and it's important for all of us to be a part of it, and also I mean to move forward on many levels. We discuss and talk about these terms, but it's more for Matt to take what he's doing in the vineyard and the winemaking to another level, and for me to push the envelope when it comes to the packaging. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I can see huge passion.
Yes.
Huge passion and love. I mean, it's of course. I mean, it's not just a winery. It's not a job. It's your future. It's your possession. It's your pride and joy. Mm-hmm. At what point was it no longer just something that mommy and daddy do and something that I want to be really part of?
Well,
really exciting part of.
I took a bit of a different path in life than my brother. I went away to university and I ended up going into the service industry and working in some restaurants.
You're a sommelier, you're a certified
Yes.
sommelier, that's right.
Yes, and I wanted to experience life and more the service side of the industry. I mean, that's when it came back to me that I was extremely passionate about wine, and that for me was the right side of the business that I wanted to experience, and then to bring that back to the winery was important. But I needed to go out and experience and have some other life experience to bring back. So I would say with that first year, part of the second year, it was understanding the business again, discussing that with my dad. My dad was my great advisor and still is to this day, but really I would say in the last 2 years it's been taking more of it into my own hands and moving forward with it, versus this is what they do and I'm going to continue doing what that is.
Right.
Because I felt we made a very big change to the winery and winery visits. We have been open by appointment since '91 until it was the end of the year, or into the tasting season of 2011, when we decided to to have open shop hours. So we were open 7 days a week from 11 a.m. until 5 p.m. May through October. And we've continued that for 2012 and 2013, and moving forward. That's our plan, to make the site, make the winery more accessible to our customers, because that was feedback that I received, that people would tell me they couldn't come to the winery, and it just broke my heart, because you can, it just meant you had to book an appointment, and that was not conducive to people on holidays.
Yeah, just spontaneous, but hey, let's go visit so-and-so. Yeah.
Yes, and I completely understand that. I mean, I've toured around different areas, so that was a big change that we did.
Yeah, and a good one, So really, all that's left now is to get the government out of the business.
Yes.
If only we could move it. I mean, I look at Canada, and we have I don't know, maybe 500 wineries, including the fruit wineries, since 1977. Thank you very much, government.
Yes.
And you look at countries like New Zealand, where they've let the industry go and said, you guys could probably make us a lot of tax money. Just go and do it. And they have thousands of wineries in a tiny country that's a tenth our size.
Yes.
Anyways, thank you so much for coming in. I'm so
thank
thrilled
you.
to have this opportunity to meet you. I've met your mom, I met your dad, I met your brother, and it's the first time I've met you, and I'm thrilled.
Great, I appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you. My guest has been Christie Mavety from Blue Mountain Vineyards and Winery. Come back again, join me on Pro and Con again, and we will interview some wonderful wine professionals from all over the world. Come back again. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.